Well, like Robert Young used to say on one of his movies, "Good morning, America." Truth of the matter is, it's not a good morning. Truth of the matter is, politicians, professional politicians, have been in our government too long. Truth of the matter is, the limited power of the president has been exceeded by a lot more than just a little bit. It's gone into the total privacy of the American people. Now, maybe it's time you out there start realizing the professional politician needs to be removed. Thank God we have term limits for presidents because we could have some real problems developing down the road. But the professional politician in our government was never supposed to be there. And George Washington said his comments about the professional politician and the political parties. And it's the way unscrupulous individuals arise to the top and take over a country or government. The man who leaked what the federal government in their secretive court, which should not be allowed to exist at all in this country, is not a criminal. He leaked out information that the government is doing against the individual American citizen without the citizen's knowledge. And that's the key point right there. That's the tickler. That's the part that is making the hair in the back of my head stand up, giving me my throat right here. What they did by tapping into everybody's line, they did without the permission of the people, without our knowledge. Why do I say it that way? Well, first thing, Obama owes this nation, each and every citizen, a personal apology for stepping way outside the boundaries of our government. Really, way outside the boundaries. Now, some people argue, well, they needed to do it to, and I'm not disagreeing with that. And I'm not disagreeing that it may need to be done. But it should have been done publicly. Not through a secretive court, which shouldn't even exist inside this country. But now you have professional politicians running the country who mostly are lawyers, and the job of a lawyer is to manipulate the law, not to seek the truth. Bottom line is, people, it's time to remove the politicians and start putting in American citizens. I don't give a doggone that they needed to do it, and I do admit it had prevented. But it should have been done openly. Prior to starting it, they should have told the American people, we need, because the individuals who plan to attack aren't going to tell us to monitor incoming from overseas phone lines. All incoming. And then when we find one that we suspect, we will then go and get a warrant to monitor theirs because of the evidence. But every single incoming phone line into the United States will be monitored from overseas, whether it's cell, landline, or what. And the American people, this is our war, and we need you to help. If you remember in World War One, World War II, in World War II especially, every able-bodied citizen got up, and if they didn't carry a gun, they were at the factories building the equipment. Well, this time, this war deals with espionage. It deals with people outside their country who are radicals to destroy the country, who are trying to get people inside the country to believe their ideals and to kill other American citizens, and we need to go after them. And therefore, we need to monitor each and every incoming phone line, phone call. And then from there, we would get warrants. Not secretive, but public record warrants. Now, you might say, whoa, that sounds like almost the same thing. The difference is it's done in the open. And it's done with the permission of the American people. That's the difference between a free society and a society of tyrant that's under a tyrant, under a dictator, a dictatorship. They can do what they want, when they want, and how they want. Yes, people. So, bottom line is, the American people, you need to get together and realize it's time to remove the politicians and put in American people. People who believe in our Constitution. People who believe in the Bill of Rights. People who believe that the majority rules without hindering. Not those who believe the minority rules. Our country has gone so far astray from its founding beliefs, and it's because it's the politicians and the lawyers. Who are the politicians? They are running the country, not the American people. They don't listen to you. The only time they listen to you is when they're running for their office. They listen to your complaints, and then they tell you how they're going to fix your complaints. When the truth is, once they get in office, they don't do nothing. I mean, look, our country is in a deplorable condition. We're losing every day more and more freedoms and rights. The government is taking it away. Secretive, evenly. They have a secret court. So, what do? We either got to understand these steps are not helping the United States of America. It's only helping the politicians. It's not helping the United States of America, the citizens. It is helping the government to grab more and more power away from the people. We should be at massive protests on the judicial system. Well, I'd love to see everyone across the country go and just totally close down federal courts until they declare that individual a patriot for putting that information out. Oh, it's secretive. No, it's against the American people that the objects were being performed. That is not secretive. That is against the law. I'm sure that oh no, it's not. We went to a secretive court and got permission, which is not allowed. You notice how translucent the Obama administration is. He gets up there and smiles pretty and waves and gives you a line of bull. And then behind your back, he stabs you every single time. There's some things that are not acceptable, and this is one of them. It could have been done, and it could have been done right with the American people, not against the American people. Obama owes every single person whose phone line was monitored a personal apology. As far as I'm concerned, he's probably one of the worst presidents we've had. He doesn't trust and believe in the American people. Like I said, when I become president, your voice is coming. You're coming with me to Washington, D.C. I'm no politician. And believe me, as president, the first time I meet with Congress, they're going to know I'm no politician. I don't play political games. I'm going to give the control back to the people. Somehow, some way, you, the American people, will start controlling your government. It's up to you to fix it, but we can only do it together. You all got to understand what had happened, how serious this matter really is. It was not done with the American people. It was done against the American people. It's time to remove the politicians from our government. All the politicians, and put in Americans. Those people who have a career of nothing but politics don't deserve to sit in our government. Those people who have worked and struggled and knows each and everything that we all experience is the only people we need in our government. So people, you've got to start realizing this. Our government is becoming an institution. And once that becomes or happens, no longer is it a government for the people, but the people exist only for the government. Look what is happening around you. Every day, it seems, we lose more and more. And the government behind our back takes away more and more. It's no longer a government with the people. It's a government against the people. That's what it's happening. So bottom line, people, you got to start realizing it's you that's got to make these changes. Not me, you. Yeah, I'm saying I'm a presidential candidate, but you got to go out there and get those signatures. You got to send them to me. I then will mail them in. You got to realize it's time. We must remove the politicians from our government. And it's not me that I'm special or great or anything. It's that we together, and I must bring you with me to Washington, D.C., because that's the only place I will have my strength. And I know that. Bottom line, people, you must realize this. That phone monitoring instead of tapping, it wouldn't have been tapping, it would have been monitoring. The phone monitoring could have been done with the people. All it took is for a president to have enough guts to believe in the people. A president who's smart enough to know he cannot do such things against the people. A president who has a heart for the country and its citizens, not for the rich, but the people he totally forgot about. You. He can get all the money to buy his votes. And he uses prejudices people have to get votes. But he doesn't believe in the individual person. Another example of how the government is working against the people instead of with the people. Working with the people, the results would still be the same. They could still monitor the lines and everything. They would be having the information they need, but they would be doing it with the people. The people will know it's being done. And at the same time, so will those who try to come. They know they will be caught. People, you got to start realizing. Secret courts? What is these secret courts? They said they went to a secretive court to get a warrant. How could a secretive court give a warrant? How could a secretive court even exist in this country? It's a court set up to allow politicians, the select few, to do what they want. And then call it legal because we got a warrant from a secretive court that doesn't exist. Or shouldn't exist. Look what come out of this. Believe me, that man who gave this information out was a great patriot. Probably as great as Nathan Hale. Remember Nathan Hale? I regret, but I have one life to give to my country. As the British hung him. Because he put out information against the government prior to the Revolutionary War. Their courts found him guilty. Now our courts are doing the same thing to another man who put out information that is being done against the American people without their knowledge. Those aren't leaks. Those aren't whistleblowers who do that. That's a patriot. There's not a single book in the United States you will find listed Nathan Hale as a traitor, as a leak, as a whistleblower. He is a patriot. This man can't even come back to his country because he believes in our Constitution. He believes in our country. He believes in the people so much he stood up against the government. He was with the people. Obama should shut this judicial court down. It doesn't need. He admits to it. He let the information out. He let the people know the government was working out of bounds was working against the people instead of with the people. And that is the difference. By letting us up front know and having our permission to monitor our lines and telling us they're doing it, between going to a secretive court which does not have any room in this country and should never exist. So, you people better start realizing it's time to get rid of the politician in our government. And yes, I am running in 2016 only as president, only if you all get off your duff and start working. Start changing our country back to a country of the people, by the people, for the people. You got to get the signatures together. Then I will make sure they get mailed in. To get on the ballot, I need at least 100,000 signatures. But you across the country need to go out there, tell people about JD. And remember, it's JD Cravo on YouTube. But tell them about JD. Tell them that he needs the people and the people need him. And together, we will go to Washington, D.C. And together, we will put the people's voice back into the United States government. The difference between what's there now and the way I would have done it is I'd say, first, shut down that secret court. It isn't needed in this country. Second, I will go to the people and tell them what I need to do the job and let them give it to me instead of taking it against them without their knowledge. That's the difference. I believe wholeheartedly in the Constitution as it is written. I believe wholeheartedly into you, the American citizen, each and every one of you, from the time you're born to the time you die. So don't ask me what I'm going to do for this group or that group or this group. Ask me what I'm going to do for you, the American citizen, each individual, because that's what I'm going to do. Protect you from this government until the government learns to work for you, the people. Have a nice day. And yes, go to the Constitutionalist Party, www.theconstitutionistparty.com. And believe me when I say I'm taking you to Washington, D.C. when you elect me as president. But you got to go out there and get the signatures. What was just done, we have a patriot that cannot come back to this country because he showed us what the government is doing against the people instead of with the people. It is time to remove the professional politicians. As George Washington said, political parties is the way for unscrupulous individuals to arise to the top. And they are now there. Thank you. This is JD. We're supposed to have a limited government, not an unlimited government on the people.